Hi, so we are here today for the second episode of Be My Guest. And today we have a very special guest, Nikhita Gandhi. She'll be here with us interacting about her journey, about her music, and much more. So without much of ado, let's go ahead and let's see what she has to say.
You should just own it and just like ignore all these haters.
But this is becoming a very common problem with generally public figures.
Commercial way.
Hi Nikita.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on board. Thank you for coming here and having spared time for interaction. So, first thing first, I was checking your Spotify. You are touching 1 crore monthly listeners. What does this number mean for you?
Honestly, I know we live in a world right now where numbers are quite the metric to measure artists. But I think for me, the Spotify numbers mean the most to me, like whether across all parameters, all platforms, whether it's Instagram or whatever. I think what ultimately matters is the music.
Yeah.
And so I'm really thrilled that, and this is just Spotify, right? That's not even
this is just Spotify.
Other streaming platforms. That definitely holds value to me because those many people are listening to my music, whether it's film, non-film, combined. That's why I'm here talking to you, because of the music.
That is true. I mean, not just music, but अगर देखा जाए तो आपका जो live set है, आपका जो live performance है, that is making a splash. Your independent side is making a splash. So, जब आपको इतने multifaceted scheme of things में काम करना पड़ता है, how do you juggle between this?
I mean, it's all part of the same journey, the same thing. Like, I love being on the road and traveling and performing like on stage. I think it's an exhilarating part of being a musician. Of course, being in the studio recording and making songs and hits and all of that is what's sort of feeding the second half. But I love the being on stage. It's awesome.
Being on stage is your most preferred form of being Nikhita Gandhi.
It's the most exciting because I mean everything is part of. It's the songs that people want to hear on stage, and then you go back and record more music, and then your discography keeps increasing, and your journey as an artist keeps moving forward. So both are super important. But of course, like when you get to connect with people, basically those numbers turn into actual people.
Right.
And that's the exciting part as an artist.
Right. You said, you just said that your journey as an artist keeps growing. As an artist, जहाँ से आपने शुरू करा, जहाँ आप अभी हैं, and being a woman artist, आपका journey कैसा रहा है from an individual perspective, and इसमें क्या for just a casual, for a candid discussion, क्या रहा है इसका phase, कैसे रहा है, challenges रहे हैं, opportunities रही हैं, easy रहा है, difficult रहा है, कैसा रहा है?
This is a very fun topic because when women discuss this amongst each other, like women artists and whichever friends I have in the industry who are women artists, we have these similar stories and complaints where we've sort of had near misses from chauvinistic men in the industry. That conversation has also happened. Then there's conversations about just generally being a woman in the industry, how the beauty standards are higher. Everything is just more difficult because you're a woman. And then when we talk, and it's funny because when I have the same conversation with male artist friends, they're like, "अरे तू तो लड़की है, तुमको shows इतने अच्छे से मिल जाएंगे." Boys, like audiences love seeing women on stage. So it's very ironic because it's always like the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. Like for boys, they're like, "अरे, why are you complaining? You're a woman. You're already the apple of everybody's eye. Your social media, more guys will follow you and all of that. For men, it's more difficult. So I guess the best thing to do is to just enjoy being a woman in the music industry.
Yeah, that's true.
And it balances itself out, right? We have hardships being women. We also have advantages, I guess, being women, and it evens out. So
technically, it's basically
the same.
It's a combination of.
It's the same. It's just the struggles are different for men. The struggles are different for women. But at the end of the day, it's all the same, and it's about you as an artist and then you as a human being.
Right.
Like, like how you present yourself, how you carry yourself, what impression you leave when you leave the room. I think that defines you, not your gender or,
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is true. I mean, after a point, it is about you.
It's about your light. It's not
Correct.
about what form you're
Correct.
you appear.
So आपको मेरे ख्याल से एक decade हो गया इंडस्ट्री में, about a decade now.
Yeah.
And एक मेरा favorite question आजकल हो गया है. I want to ask artists, I want to know them because इंडस्ट्री हमारी बहुत डिफरेंट हो चुकी है आजकल फ्रॉम व्हाट इट यूज्ड टू बी अ डेकेड बैक व्हेन यू पॉसिबली स्टार्टेड एंड नाउ इंडस्ट्री इज वेरी डिफरेंट, वेरी मोर वाइब्रेंट, मच मोर अपॉर्चुनिटीज एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. आर्टिस्ट कमिंग इन देयर ओन स्पेस with their own faces being put out there.
Right.
आपका कोई 5 years down the line vision board है?
Yes, I think अभी एक बहुत exciting / confusing time है क्योंकि सब कुछ बदल रहा है, सब confused है, क्या करना चाहिए, क्या कुछ जो चलता है वो नहीं चल रहा है, जो नहीं चलता है वो चल रहा है. So it's a very, I'm talking about the industry as a whole, not as an artist. So I think the best thing to do now and the most wonderful thing about that is that I can literally focus on exactly what I want to do,
right,
and not what's working or not working.
Correct.
And just do that.
Correct.
So of course I have certain personal goals that I want to achieve as an artist, and जैसे आपने कहा कि music industry में also we are seeing artists face front a lot more now.
Yeah.
And a lot less codependency on the film industry.
Correct.
So as an artist, that's awesome. I get to write my own music and release them independently. ये नहीं कि my career is not only defined by film music. तो of course मेरे goals है which sort of explore that the pop artist journey more.
Right.
And I get to play music that I've written.
Yeah.
As opposed to only sung. So these are part of the bigger picture.
Right. When we say that in today's time you can be the face, right, as an artist, it's there now. You can be the face. You have been face of a lot of your songs that you create yourself or through labels, through independently. Does that put pressure on you to look in a specific way or to be in a specific way?
Yes and no. Like, I think there are certain parameters, certain forces that keep, making us as artists want to look the best. I think the yes is because yes, I want to look the best I can.
Fair point.
And the no is because I feel that as musicians, the advantage we have over, say, an actor or somebody who's in the fashion or the film world is that it is the USP we bring to the table, not the absurd beauty standards. Like, it's like, and I've given this example before and I'll give it again. I feel like if you look at the West, for example, Ed Sheeran, he's not a model looking guy, but he has his own beauty, he has his own aura, and he has his own very unique appearance that he brings to the table.
Right.
And I think that is what artists should thrive in, instead of trying to look hot or trying to just look like actors or just look a certain way that may or may not be their intrinsic self. I think Badshah owned that really well. I think like he didn't care that, he, whatever, I don't know. Now he's become really skinny.
Now, yeah.
But I feel everybody has a look and they should just, it's about that. It's not about, and there are a lot of artists in the West who own that. Like there's an artist called Lizzo who's a plus size person and she owns it. And I think size, beauty, all of these are metrics that we fortunately live in a world in which are not taken seriously.
Right.
And it's more about your energy, how you carry yourself, your vibe, your screen presence. That is what is important. So
that's true. Beyond screen presence, what is also that is very heartening to see in your journey is the connect that you have established with people in general. Be it Instagram, be it your live performances, the connect seems genuine and real.
Right.
How has that come about?
I don't know how to answer that. I think like...
What's your, let's say, if you have to tell an artist that to establish a genuine connect, this works. Is there something that has worked for you out of your experience? You may not have tried it. I
don't know if I'm the best example for it, but I think it's a whole lot of trial and error. Like, you feel because we are complicated as human beings in general. So it's not like one thing is your entire definition. There's certain things about you that connect with people.
Right.
And the best way to, I guess, keep connecting with people is to find that thing and to, keep doing that more. I don't think I've figured it out either. I think most of us have not figured it out. And that's the funny thing about being an artist, that we're very outward existing people. I think people tell us what works more than, and I think there are people who do the reverse as well. They just decide that this is who I am and this is how I'm going to conduct myself, take it or leave it. But most of the time, I think when, like if I don't know how to give an example for this.
Just go. Whatever thing comes to mind. We can always edit it.
No, like, in my case, I feel like people connect a lot with my voice,
vocal tone,
the texture.
Yeah.
And maybe my journey is constantly trying to figure out more and more ways in which I can be more vulnerable with that, with the audience. It's frustrating also sometimes, because sometimes you don't want to do that. You just, maybe I want to dance in my next video, but that might not be the most engaging
or connecting experience.
Yeah. Might not be the most engaging thing on the metric world that we live in. So I think it's just, you just have to find a balance of high engagement and high quality and being true to yourself.
So you spoke about one very specific term, the metrics that we use.
Yeah.
How much are you fan of data crunching?
You guys do that a lot, I know.
I know.
You guys have this brand value. Sometimes I get tagged in these brand value index things from MusiCulture, and I'm like, is this a good thing? Yeah, those are very existential moments for me when I get those tags from your page. Music you can't really measure it, right? What do you measure music with? You measure it with streams. You measure it with the engagement of the audience. Correct. So I think anything that's tangible and measurable are just great ways of understanding the science behind what works and what doesn't work for the artist. It doesn't even have to define the next move.
Right.
But you just get a way of, understanding or quantifying a very unquantifiable thing.
Fair point.
And I think that's the cool thing about having these metrics. But I have a soft corner for being a disruptor and not following the measurements that define us. Because I think the most beautiful art happens when you don't contain it within numbers. So it's always finding that balance.
But you still kind of keep an eye on what is happening on the numbers side of it, and then
you guys help me do that when you tag me. No, I don't know. I think it's a very external thing. I don't think I as a person do that.
Okay.
I don't like it.
It just comes to you.
Yeah, it's this constant. It's like almost like peer pressure, like this constant industrial pressure to exceed in numbers. And of course, at the end of the day, you want more people to listen to your music. So that's why I said it's a balance, because you want more people to listen to your music, but you don't want to make music based on a numerical
parameters.
Data. Yeah.
Fair enough. So, when you talk about wanting more people to listen to your music, and given that you have been a very successful playback singer and commercial artist, of course, now you have, in very recent discussions, I was myself very much contesting the whole world of the word commercial versus non-commercial music, because to me it doesn't make sense. To me, music is music. What can go commercial can only be judged after the success of it. A sound cannot determine commerciality of a particular song. But from you being very successful commercially in the film music and your non-film music that you have done with labels, and now you've started your own independent a band by the name Schnik.
Yeah.
We spoke about it a few months back, but how is it going from there till now?
So Schnik is kind of like a mini alter ego of, because I have, as an artist, as Nikhita Gandhi, I have a certain aesthetic as an artist, and Shashwat and I. So Schnik is a duo between Shashwat Singh and me. Both of us are playback singers who started our careers with A.R. Rahman. We have a lot of common things in our journeys. We both work extensively with Pritam Da and have sung a lot of huge songs for both composers. And But I think as artists, when we write music together, we've been writing a lot of hip-hop folk music, which didn't essentially fit either of our core music existence. So we thought of starting this duo, which is more quirky from what we've been doing individually. And that's how Schnik was born. And we have our next song dropping in a few days, probably, from today. And so our first song was Kahe. It did pretty well, actually. It's still, I mean, speaking of numbers and metrics, I was making a post yesterday, a few days back, and I saw that it still had that upward arrow that we all pray and hope to see on our music.
Yeah.
So that was Kahe, and Kari is dropping in a few days.
I remember when I heard the song Kahe, and I called it urban folk in its essence, how the sound was and how the treatment of the song was. Is Kari also in the similar domain?
So everything we're releasing is in that world. Urban folk, I think, is the right adjective for
paradoxical, but
it's awesome. That's what is awesome about it.
So tell us a bit more about Kari. What is it about, and how did it come up?
So Kari was actually the first song we wrote. It has a music video also attached to it, and the first song we wrote as Schnik. So it's presented urban folk, but the core message in the song is a very simple, universal problem between man and woman, where the girl says, "Kari boli teri lagti pyare." Is basically she's saying ki, I don't like the way you speak to me, which is every woman's complaint all the time.
Yeah.
And where the man is like, "Are yaar, maine to." Men are very unidimensional when it comes to
pata hi nahi hua kya?
Exactly. Always completely unaware of how I managed to piss her off. So that is literally the song, but in this
fun
urban
way.
folk flavor. So I'm excited for people to hear it.
So when is it releasing? Has the date been decided yet?
No, we're kind of just tying a few knots, but probably in a week. I would say in a week from
today. In a week. Okay. We'll definitely look
I think the best way to know when it's going to drop is to go to Schnik's profile. I'm going to do that annoying thing and be like, subscribe, and then you'll get to know.
Well, that's a good one. We are in the numbers world. We are in the numbers world, so it helps adding the numbers.
I didn't go to Nikhita's, go to my profile. I'm like Schnik,
Correct.
Not even,
Correct. So, you mentioned that you have worked with most of the prominent music directors in India, be it Pritam Da or A.R. Rahman or whoever.
Right.
What has been your pick from working through all these legends that I may say now?
What has been my?
Your pick. What have you picked up from them? Is there something specific that you picked up from each of them? Let's say A.R. Rahman, we start.
I actually do get asked this question a lot, and I have a summary for it, which is basically that there's a common thread between all eccentric artists, and I use the word eccentric because I feel you need to be eccentric to have crazy. When you have crazy artistic talent in a human being, there's always a sense of eccentricity. And one common thing in all of them, which I think I have as well, hopefully, is that childlike curiosity. I think there is this constant need to discover things. कुछ नया आया तो उसको छेड़ना है, जाना कि ये instrument कैसे बजता है. So that is there. That is a common thing in all these big artists I've worked with, and that is something I saw this on someone's post the other day where it says, where the child is telling the parent that, "Dad, I want to be an artist when I grow up."
Okay.
And the dad says, "You can only do one of those two things. You can either be an artist or grow up."
Okay.
So I thought that was an excellent answer. That's an excellent way of describing artists. We're all children.
I think at certain level you need that innocence and you need that curiosity to be creative.
Absolutely.
Right? So what is keeping you curious these days?
I think the chaos. There is so much chaos in the music industry. It actually creates a lot of fatigue as an artist. People ask me a lot, like, what do you listen to, in your when you're not working because you're a musician.
Right.
Most of the time I'm not listening to anything because I feel there is this over-information right now of music in general. There are like thousands and hundreds of thousands of songs releasing daily. I think that's the statistic right now.
Yeah.
So it's overwhelming. And I think I draw curiosity from experiences more than music as of right now. You know, from food, from traveling, from playing various sports. Life experiences are what is definitely attracting me right now more, just because of the overall chaos in music.
Okay. So, okay, now this is something I really want to know. Is there something apart from music that you do as something that really keeps you engaged?
Yeah. I try to, like, when I'm not traveling a lot and, you know, and just home, like this is rainy season, so we have a lot of home time right now.
Yeah.
Apart from writing, I mean, there's a lot of writing music, being in the studio, recording happening. In my spare time, I like to stitch. Like I spend a lot of time like designing the clothes that I'm going to wear on gigs and stuff like that, making creatives. So I think it all kind of is part of the same world of being creative but not making music.
Correct.
So even with Schnik, I do all the editing of the music videos, the grade sometimes. I've been doing this other IP that I started called Kitchen Corner Jam, where we cook and make music.
Wow.
Kind of at the same time. So I do a lot of technical work which I enjoy doing. And obviously, since I'm a playback singer, people don't really get to see that side of me, which is like editing, designing, like ideas for shows, ideas for what I'm going to wear. It's just a whole lot of creative stuff which is not music.
You're a producer as well, right? Music producer.
I don't think I can call myself that, but sure.
For Schnik, you're
yeah,
doing the music production.
Yeah.
So how is this overall experience of producing music for you? You have been working on music which is being produced by someone.
Yes.
But now with Schnik, you're producing music. How is that?
It's very daunting. Because sometimes you've like flooded with ideas and you're trying to like, laying them all down, making us, you know, it's when you're in the writing of things, whether it's producing or writing top line melodies, you can have really good days and really bad days. Like when you're just staring at your laptop and just have no idea what to do. That's when I have to force myself to like just go play badminton or something and call it a day.
Yeah.
Because clearly
This is
I'm not able to make anything. So, you know, it's but I think the more you do other things and you keep your brain a little idle, like busy work, whether it's like stitching or cooking or painting or just anything that doesn't engage your brain too much, I think that's when your brain works the best. And that's when you get all your ideas. So doing a lot of that is also very important as an artist.
Correct. So that's like your breathing space when you're not actually professionally involved in the music related stuff that you're doing.
And I think we take being busy too seriously sometimes, and that's something I'm trying to unlearn because I love being busy. Again, I heard another artist say it, I think it was Lauryn Hill, is a very big R&B artist from the US, and she said that so people were asking, when is your next album, why is it not out yet? You know, she's like, there was a time when I was always in and out of the studio just releasing music, and then she burnt out. She said that I don't know what to write about because I'm not living.
Correct.
You write about life, right? You write about your experiences with people, your interactions, maybe you went and did skydiving and how it made you feel or whatever. But it's when you're living life is when you have something to write about. So I think it's very important for artists to live life as well, so they have something to write about.
That is true. Art comes from the experience, and unless and until you have lived through those experiences, otherwise you may as well write about being of the stress that you are living through.
Yeah.
And that may also come out as an experience.
Sure, for sure.
Because that also I think needs to be told. In today's world, I'm not sure how you're dealing with, so I would like to know it from you only. You've spoken about the peer pressure, you've spoken about the numbers, but art is not meant for that. So how do you deal with that kind of pressure as Nikhita?
I ignore it.
You ignore it. Are you good at ignoring?
Yeah, one of my friends was telling me that he was reading like these comments on his, Instagram, and he was like, "Oh my God, people are so vicious." And I found that I was like, just don't read the comments. Like, just don't read the comments. I've also had these. I remember there was this one time I had this phase. I used to do a lot of braids and colored braids and stuff. And people started writing to me about cultural appropriation, which hit me really hard. They were like, "Oh, you're like appropriating black culture by making braids." And I got really like, it really mentally affected me. I was like, oh my God, am I like offending an entire race of people without knowing it? And I went so far as to ask some of my African American friends. I was like, is this like, I sent them a picture of mine and I was like, does this offend you? Like, I feel like I'm getting a lot of hate because of this and all of that. And they were like, no, like,
why should it?
Why? No. And plus we like know you and you're like, this is how you are. And no, it doesn't offend us. And so it became like this entire mental trauma that I went through. And then I realized a lot of those people were Southeast Asian people.
Okay.
So I found it very...
They have no skin in the game, still.
And then I remember my then manager, she was so sweet. She said that, you know what, you're a Punjabi and Parandi is a part of your culture.
Yeah.
So you should just own it and just like ignore all these haters because people love, trolling. And that's their high, and you just don't give in to it. It's rubbish. So I think the best way to, weirdly, the best way to be artistically productive is to just live in your own bubble and write about your experiences. Maybe I'll write about this someday, but this was like heavy.
Yeah, this is pretty nasty stuff actually happening. But this is becoming a very common problem with generally public figures. People just like to hate these days.
It's so easy because you're invisible at the same time, right? You're a account that can't be traced or whatever. Most of these accounts have random names. So it's this strange, terrible thrill that people get from trolling artists and public figures. As I said, just ignore it.
Just ignore it.
Stop it.
Just
how many of these are you gonna
correct.
report to the portal?
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Waste of your own time, I guess, at the end of it. You are investing time into something which is not desirable, not worth attention.
Yeah, unfortunately, bullying is such an intrinsic trait in human beings. It's very sad, but it is a part. I feel it is a huge part of, because whether you talk about ragging in school and college or you talk about trolling, I think it all stems from this need to bully.
Yeah.
There's this satisfaction people get from putting the other person down.
Correct.
So I think we're all intelligent enough to know that is all it is.
Right.
And just not let it affect.
Okay. As Nikhita Gandhi, where you are right now, built over last about a decade plus, are there any things that you could have done better?
Oh, yeah, tons. There's always things that we could have done better, we feel, now that we've done it. It's more about, I think it's more around self-promotion. That's usually what I end up feeling can be done better because, we're very insecure people as a breed, artists. So we're always living in this, am I good enough situation? So I think a lot of things I would have done is been a little more ruthlessly self-promoting. But then again, that's my personality. So I don't know how to, best is not to regret anything.
Yeah. What is done is done. You can't change it. And you can only think and
you can just learn from
be hard on yourself.
Exactly. And plus everything has its right moment and has its own self-revelation.
Correct. So you said that it's not just about you, but artists as a breed, not just singers, musicians, every artist of its own rank has a bit of insecurity around him or her.
Yeah.
How can the industry make an atmosphere, or what can the industry do to take that insecurity out? Or to a certain extent, what could be those enablers? Well,
I think to start off, the industry is doing a lot now, especially to empower. Yes, I was like enable. That's wrong. To empower artists, whether it's these organizations. There's especially for singers. There's a lot of intricacies to being a musician. It's not just the music you release and the shows you do. It's the royalties you collect, things that can financially empower you as well, right? There are a lot of organizations that are trying to build structure.
Right.
That's the main thing. I think building structure.
Right.
Because it is an unstructured industry. There are no rules. There's no course that teaches you how to be where you are.
Correct.
And it's across like all professions in the music and film industry, right? So apart from maybe technical careers like cinematography and stuff, most artists are vague entities floating about. So bringing structures will definitely help empower artists. It's very difficult to do that, to bring structure to chaos.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are trying to do that. And that is, I think the best thing to do is to support such institutions, to support such organizations, and to be a part of that movement.
Are you IPRS registered?
Yes, I'm TRS registered.
You're one of the few artists possibly I know of.
Really, I believe this is a problem. A lot of artists are unaware of their rights, basically. So again, only structure will change that. I'm a part of. In fact, somebody was explaining certain things to me that even I didn't know. Like how all the bodies across the world, the most ideal thing is to be independently registered to all of them. Because otherwise they sort of funnel collections and royalties through each other.
Correct.
And take percentages and whatever.
Yeah.
But the point is that people don't know. And it's so, I think, education, and literally like right now you can just Google everything. But educating yourself as an artist is number one, like self-education.
But do you think an artist wants to get into all this? As the personality that an artist has, in the sense that you're not a business person. You know, an artist is an artist. Always trying, because of the personality and because of the traits that you are an artist, you don't want to get into these things.
See, it's like padhai. Like certain things I vehemently dislike, like money management and all of these money-related things. But I have a chartered accountant to do that for me. But at the same time, I have to at least understand the basics, right? So that I know that at least an overview. Right. Like what we learn in school, it's not like we're going to apply everything.
Yeah.
But we just do that so that we understand most walks of life. Right.
So your point here, if I understand correctly, is understand and then possibly have the right guys
and
to
delegate.
Do it for you.
Yeah. At least educate yourself. It's not like you have to follow up and you don't have to suddenly be an artist business manager.
Yeah.
But at least understand how it works.
Yeah.
And then get the right person to do it for you if you don't want to do it yourself.
Correct.
But at least you don't be like unaware. I think that's a dangerous thing to do as an artist.
Yes. Is there any danger of delegating a lot to a lot of people, especially an art?
Exactly my point one. Know it and then delegate.
Know it and then delegate.
So that you know if somebody's not doing it correctly or taking you for a ride, right?
Fair enough.
So, but of course, that is dangerous across all walks of life. I mean, having a chartered accountant can also be dangerous.
Yeah.
That person is not a good person. That's a risk you take in everything, right? When you can go for a haircut and they can mess it up. It doesn't mean you have to start cutting your hair.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just about diligently delegating, I guess.
How important is trust for you in life? In life of an artist or life of a businesswoman or semi-businesswoman, however you look at yourself.
I don't think anyone has ever called me that. I'm actually...
However you look at it yourself, semi-businesswoman, businesswoman, artist, entrepreneur. I believe every artist is an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. We're all products actually and CEOs of that product.
So I'm glad somebody said this. I'm so glad somebody said this. I've been saying this for all so long that artist is a product which needs to be, don't get me wrong, but managed and sold in the market.
Yeah. No, but I agree. When I when I sit with the team to discuss journey, way forward, that's how I talk about myself, because I want them to feel comfortable enough to give me real suggestions and not sugarcoat it for me.
Yeah.
So I genuinely am like, oh, I know I'm the product. Your job is to sell that product. I am the product and the CEO, I guess, of that product. But you are my team and you're the board, and you decide how to run that business or that product, right? So that's how I think you get the best result. If you're aware that that is how you have to conduct yourself as an artist.
Correct. Well, I'm really happy somebody said this.
Weird thing, but
You don't know how much happy I am right now, because I've been telling this to so many artists, and somehow
I am late to the party, I would say. I don't think 4 years ago, I functioned like this, which is why when you ask me what would you have done differently, I think I would have understood this philosophy earlier. If I understood it earlier, again, I don't come from a business background. I come from a doctor background. I'm a dentist. My parents are dentists. So we function.
You're a dentist?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we are not numbers people, we're like healthcare people, but then again, I think they have also learned through life that even if you're a doctor, you have to be a business person as well, because you have to manage your clinic if you have a private practice. So it's the same thing for me. If I'm an artist, I'm still a business.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And that's a business that needs to be managed very carefully.
Yeah.
Because there are so many facets attached to this business, and you as an artist can excel in every one of those.
Right.
So unless somebody understands this concept, it will be very difficult for the artist manager also to do justice to it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the music business, we talk about the music business, how happy are you with the kind of setup that we have in India compared to, let's say, a West? We always compare ourselves generally in many ways to how the music business works in the West versus music business that works in India. How happy are you with the current setup, and what changes would you like to see?
Hard to answer this question because changes are currently at place. I think with globalization of music, with India being such an important market for the West as well, because we have population as an advantage. And I think a lot of if you've noticed last year itself, in 2024 into 2025, and you'll see this year as well, there are a large number of A-lister acts, like whether it was, I think Travis Scott is about to happen. Yeah. Anderson .Paak, Ed Sheeran, like so many huge Enrique is coming, huge arena artists who would never come to India are suddenly coming to India. Why? Because I think the current youth wants to spend on festival experiences. B, we have so many people in the country that by sheer numbers, we are a large market for all the artists outside of India, right? So I think they see a lot. Again, of course, their agencies are looking at it through a business, like a music business module. And the artists also thriving because of that. We get to see international acts. And that opens up so many windows and doors for Indian artists, right? Because we get to globalize our music. We get to collaborate with such artists. Such opportunities are now opening up. So I think what was probably dissatisfaction is anyway turning into opportunities in the music industry here.
Do you see a flip side of this phenomena? Because let's say if I am a music consumer and I want to go to a festival, I'll possibly save as of now for a Dua Lipa concert or for an Enrique concert, which is going to be very expensive for me. But in the bargain, many like me will not end up buying tickets for some indie acts which are doing the rounds in the independent music festivals. Do you see this happening as a flip side, or it may not happen? I don't know.
So I don't think like a big artist would eat the live performance concert scene for a small one, because there's also purchasing power, right? The ticket sales are of different prices. The fandom is different. I don't think that would happen, to be honest.
Fair enough. I also don't know. I'm also trying to figure this out.
I don't know the answer to that question, but in my knowledge, I don't think so.
Maybe we'll find some stats around it.
You will. I'm not going to bother.
Yeah. We'll definitely do that. Because this is an interesting thing I'm trying to explore myself of, is there going to be a ripple effect of this? Or is or the two can coexist?
I think it's going to be a positive ripple, because if someone's going to pay 30,000 rupees for a ticket for a big act, they definitely have 1,000, 2,000 rupees. They would anyway spend another day to go and watch another act, because they anyway can afford that ticket.
Could be. Yeah.
From that perspective, I think.
So you're saying the demographics could be very different of these two.
Even that same person buying that ticket, if they can spend 30,000, they can spend 35,000 and watch 3 concerts, right? So I don't know. I don't think it would adversely affect artists.
Fair enough. So before we go for a closure, for a couple of things I need to ask. How is your rest of the half of the year looking like?
It's very exciting. There's going to be a lot of music which is just my own and independently. Of course, Schnik is part of that journey, and stuff that I'm releasing as Nikhita individually as well. So it's exciting, it's scary. A lot of that. Of course, for film, I can't really comment because it happens when it happens.
Yeah.
And it's more dependent on the film and the production and release dates. But with the non-film, a lot of new music, and I'm trying to scale up for sure, do it in a more commercial way. Yeah, but that's pretty much the year. I mean, it's obviously all around music, but it's an exciting year for me.
Amazing. By the way, I must definitely say this, because this is what it is. A lot of artists would die to be in the place that you are, balancing the commercial, balancing the commercial as well as the independent side of it, and possibly a roadmap that you have possibly created, whether knowingly, unknowingly. It happened over a period of time by your own life experience and the course that you have taken. But it is definitely a roadmap that has been created for a lot of young artists who can actually take inspiration from you and see how and pursue the career in music. But what would be that one single advice of yours to the young musicians before we close today?
Put yourself out there. Don't gatekeep your own music, because I feel like we're always like I said, we're a self-doubting species. So we tend to just be like, no, it's not perfect. There's no point keeping it to yourself. You may as well release your music than keep waiting for the right time to release it. I think that's number one advice for all of us.
So you've done that? Keeping music to yourself?
There's so many songs that I still haven't released which were written like 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And further behind in time. So yeah, no one's going to hate your music if you don't release it. So
that's true. Even the hate is okay sometimes. At least it gets the views.
And honestly, music pops at its own time. I mentioned Anderson .Paak earlier. A lot of his music that popped in 2024 were actually released in 2018, 17, 14. So, you don't even know when your music is going to get loved.
Very true.
So just release it.
Very true. And we loved having this interaction with you. Thank you so much for sparing the time for us. It was lovely having you here.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Nikhita.
Thank you.